Hey, it's Laura, Hyperstamper. I am showing you this beautiful little journal here. This one is called Daisy, and it's just got the prettiest red and green flowers on the front and this lovely spine. It's worn, but it's still in its original condition. And the back is intact. All I had to do with this one was pierce just one eyelet in the spine to put my matching vintage beads and matching little tassel here. I just think it's so sweet and pretty, and I put some vintage crochet here just to give it more softness. And these are the original first pages here. Looks like they're thistles, but I can't be positive of that. But you know what I love is the original inscription is on this side from 1910 from a teacher to a student for having the best exam marks, and it burned out the image, or sort of bleached it out on the opposite page. I just love that. So there's our Daisy there, and this one is sort of a lot of dogs in here, a lot of dogs. So here we have, look at this, puppies from 1942 photography magazine, and just the sweetest photography too. Little puppy here. I've got this lovely original first plate from the original pages of the book, and then I've put in this one is the only thing in here that's not authentic vintage and antique ephemera, but I loved it because it was nature themed, and it's got the infused sort of grassy leaves in there. And there we have some I pulled this from a children's book because it sort of goes with the Daisy theme here. And a little picture up from the 1920s here of a little dog. And, sorry, putting it in the wrong side, as I tend to do. All right, so we have that there in this little pocket with some flowers down here, stamped flowers. And this gorgeous plate from an early 1900s bird book, Birds of America. And it's stunning. There's more on the other side. This is a plate from the early 1900s, or not a plate, a page with an image here of Little Red Riding Hood. And this is also from the early 1900s. That is a lovely resort. And this one looks like it is from about 1904. How cool is that? Another little children's book page here with dogs, and another one here, little dog doing a handstand. These are from all different books too, not the same book, which is really fun for me. This came from a teacher's book to help her with her classroom studies. And we've got dogs here, friend for puppy, and then some animals here. Look how fun that is from that same teacher's page. I love it. More dogs here. 1953 baking receipt. And some hidden vintage spots here and here. A nice vintage journaling tag. Another dog image here. And look at this. That's the flip side of that plate from that antique book. And I absolutely love it. I love it so much. Put a little bit of crochet here. And an antique page here just to cover up some plain text. Another lady with feeding her dogs here. Just a pretty page topper from an antique book. More children's book pages, and here's a lovely color image from the 30s, fairies flying around the bed of this little girl, and I just love that. Here's one of those amazing arborite pieces that I have. This one is coral, and this one here is chartreuse. Fun. Love it. Remember this from the 40s? Love it, love it, love it. And here we go. This is from the 1920s, How to Make Things to Make and Do, I believe the book was called. This is how to draw a dog and a donkey. Sure. And then these leaves came out of a book from the 1920s, and it was a book about trees. So I put them together in here, and I think that's very precious. Just a little children's image pocket here of the moon. And just a fun animals page here, and a dog doing little tricks for them. And this is one of those wonderful vintage bird pages that came out of Birds and Their Eggs and Nests book. And this is more pressed, it's almost like wheat, but it's not. It's very fluffy, furry flower, and some Canadian birch bark up here. Another lovely dog page here. And this is from a vintage botanical book. A gardening book as well. and just a little 1950s receipt in there for journaling on too. You can tuck all kinds of things in there. And the pocket is made from the canvas that you would do your cross stitch on. And then just a little 1920s banknote there and a vintage bird stamp. Just a little calendar down here and some more dogs from the early 1900s. Oh, look at this sweet one. This one is actually from the 1800s. And some pressed flowers here on a paper clip. And just more animals here. Beautiful children's book page. That's a gorgeous page from a vintage bird book, not antique, but vintage. And just a really sweet little children's book page here, playing hide and seek with the dog. Another one of those plates with the birds on it. And then I just put in, that's the spine of the book. And I just flipped a little journaling spot on there. It's an advertisement for candy from the 50s. And birds and dogs. And beautiful crochet piece here. Page toppers, planets. Well, that's actually the Earth. And more dogs here and here. Look how wonderful this is. I just love it so much. And then look at this plate from the 1800s. Isn't that hilarious? Little dog on a scooter. It says, "Who will win?" A vintage French dictionary page with some planets going, or maybe it's the Earth going around the sun. And there's a really fun little photo here from a 1953 yearbook. I just thought it was cheeky and fun. "Your ladyship." And that one's from a page topper. It's another one of these 1943 pieces that I've turned into what I'm calling a window pocket. Window shutter, I guess. You know, the shutters on a window. And more receipts there from the 50s. And the Canadian Journal, 1861. And I just love the fact that it had journaling. I was going to cut just that out, but I wanted to leave it intact because it's pretty fabulous from the 1800s. And look at this, is another one of these fabulous pages from the Delineator magazine. But look at this wonderful Campbell soup image. It looks like it was just printed yesterday. It's in fabulous condition. And this image of here on the other side, it's just for nylons. Hosiery, I should say. Hosiery. So yeah, pretty special. Campbell's vegetable soup. They haven't changed the label since. Yeah, so that brings us to the last page of the book, which is the original page. And then back here, I've tucked in an antique map of Canada. And I know it's antique because it calls it the Dominion of Canada. And we haven't been called that in a very, very long time. So I love it. I hope you did too. You can visit hyperstamper.etsy.com.